August has arrived, usually the hottest month around here, but the last few days have been pretty unpredictable. Kind of like our lives right now. August is also a time for many people to take vacations. For us, this means keeping our gates shut to avoid those traveling who just drive on through our property. We'd much rather have visitors like this. Even though we're making progress on the cottage, more on that later, we've failed. We found ourselves somewhat overwhelmed with the amount of outdoor work that we've either conveniently avoided or just have had a hard time keeping on top of. My garden this year hasn't been the spectacular success I had planned on. I can blame the weather. I can also blame COVID for knocking me out for a couple of weeks. I went back to the US. I just simply didn't have the time and have accepted the fact that my garden is That's okay though. It's in desperate need of weeding, but is still producing some great vegetables. So stay tuned for an upcoming vlog where I cook from the garden. This is basically what an onion looks like when it's ready to be harvested. The necks are soft and sort of slumped over. So this one is ready. My Brussels sprouts have been attacked by whiteflies. I'm just spraying a solution of water and an all-natural dish soap on them. Hopefully we'll have some nice sprouts this fall. I do have a few peaches, but I don't have much hope for them. They're probably not going to be sweet, but we'll see. This year was tough on the peaches. Does look like the pears are doing really well. This one is full of them. We have a couple different varieties. We do have some plums. These are really nice little plums. And we also have mirabelles. Well, I think my gardening is finished for the day, but at least we're getting a good amount of rain. This is nice. The vegetables will be happy. It was time to begin the process of installing the cross beams, but in order to finish the job, of course, there were a few obstacles.
It's a little hot today.
You got a good amount done in here.
Yeah, we basically one day.
So explain what is happening.
We've got all of the beams in. There are two that have to wait to go on the wall because the fireplace flue goes behind them and we need to replace those bricks.
Yeah, this looks pretty unstable.
And the old beams, at least this one right next to the fireplace,
Which one?
the one that isn't in there, that hole next to the
Oh,
fireplace.
okay, yeah.
The back of that is the flue. So the old piece of wood that was there was,
It was just leaning against.
well, I don't know how far in it was, but if it was way in, then the end was getting burned.
Then you didn't happen to notice when you pulled it out?
No. They were all awful anyway. A lot of them weren't in very far. We had to open up the holes to put them in deeper, you know?
Yeah, so this wall is kind of a mess right now, but the idea is to kind of rebuild this area of the wall. Once you do that, you can put in the two remaining beams, yeah?
Right, it's just that the area, you can kind of see where the bricks are. The flue goes diagonally and then up the side there. So this area here around that small hole, you can see the bricks are cracked and that all kind of needs to come out. And we put this in so this part of the wall is supported because this is solid. You know, the flue goes like here. And we may change what we're doing, but what we need to do first is get it stable.
Right. You were able to get a couple pipes in through the thick stone wall over here.
Yes.
It's hard to see because we don't have a ladder.
This wall is probably almost 3 feet thick. Look through the hole there.
Oh my gosh, look at this. So that's the thickness of the wall there. And that leads into the old stable area.
We needed to put cement in the wall to stabilize it because they had made a big hole in it for the shower there and a lot of rocks had come out. So we needed to get that all stable. So we put 2 100-millimeter pipes. One is going to be the drain and one's going to have the water supply going through it.
Okay. I need to dig that out.
Yeah. Everything's going to come from here. The electricity is going to come here first, go through the wall. We've got a hole down here. And we're going to have our water heater in here, right in the corner here.
Oh, that's good. That's a good idea.
Because
You have to.
There's no place in the cottage.
There's no place in the cottage for
Well,
it,
I'm
but
no
that
place
helps.
that isn't obvious.
Right. It would
where
be
it
a little
isn't
bit
sticking out.
unsightly. So if
Yeah.
we could just put it here and not see it and have, easy access, obviously. The big cleanup hasn't happened yet.
No, we made more of a mess.
The car is still here. This area has to be cleaned out because above us is the rumpus room. And the ceiling needs to come down so we can inspect the beams and,
Right.
and everything. This is the future home of our workshop, which I mentioned several months ago, that never got cleared out.
There had been a door going into the garden that's been
Are we
closed up.
planning on doing that?
We may. We have to figure out if it's
So that is the old
Sound.
door. Used to be a door, and that leads to our walled garden out there. So it would be great to have access, and I don't think that would be a very difficult thing to do.
we may have to replace the lintels.
Yeah.
But
But that we,
Yeah.
did it over there,
Yeah.
so this would probably be quite easy.
well, it's got either 2 or 3 side by side because it's a thick wall also.
So the other question we have for ourselves, and maybe our viewers can chime in, the stone wall behind you. We are thinking of cleaning it up, repointing it, and keeping that one wall stone, while the rest of the walls
Right.
need to be insulated and covered up so we can be comfortable in here.
The other 3 are exterior walls.
Yeah.
And that isn't. It leads to, there's more
Right,
building
so
over there.
we're just trying to determine if we keep this stone. I think it would be quite pretty.
I think so.
Yeah, so the only thing we still need to do is go get those tile samples and bring them in here and see how they look
Right.
against the stone. Our other concern is that this area downstairs is going to be far too dark. We're thinking about putting a window in here, in this area, right?
Right. The sun's on that side of the house half of the day. It's quite dark in here,
Yeah.
even when the sun is shining in. It's still
Well, you
dark.
can just imagine, we don't have a floor up there yet, and we're getting some sunshine from the skylight and the window. But once there's a floor on top of there,
Yeah, it doesn't come through.
it gets pretty dark in here. I think we need to put a window in.
We have to figure out the feasibility of it and how it's going to look from the other side,
Yeah, the ground is higher
Right.
on the outside. By how many feet do we think?
This end, it isn't as much, and as you go further down this building, it gets up to maybe about this high, I think.
Okay.
But here, it's down around here.
August is also a month to slow down a bit, spend some time just enjoying our surroundings before the busy month of September arrives. Then it's all downhill from there. You try living in a drafty stone building in the winter. I think we are gluttons for punishment. So it's really interesting watching the apples every year in the orchard. Last year we barely got any apples, and this year it seems like each tree is just filled with a ton of apples. Now, we probably won't do anything with the apples this year. These are all cider apples. They'll probably just sit, and then the deer come in. We do have some fruit on this one. Hi, donkeys. In the summer, they just hang out by their house. These are Mirabelle plums. A lot of them look spotted, so I'm not sure what kind of disease this is. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and if you have something to say, leave us a comment.